all like super respectful of each other. So then I'm
Take it away.
is everybody having a good day? Good. All right, well, I'll share my screen and I'll share what I have, and then I'll open it up for questions and stuff, because I know it's a lot, but it's fun too. And you guys can interrupt me if you want, or if it's better to like keep your questions to the end. I don't care. I'm pretty laid back. But Project Broadcast was introduced to me by a Young Living rep over last winter. And so you guys, I think all of you know that we travel full time, and a lot of people who travel full time have a side gig, and a lot of them are with Young Living. And so a lot of my friends happen to be with that company. So I'm like, you know, rubbing shoulders, learning from them, learning what they're doing. And so this girl, Kristen, was able to sit with me at a Panera one day, and I just like picked her brain. I'm like, okay, this is so cool what you do. Teach me your ways. What do you do with it? And so I started using it, and then I posted it a couple times in like the Campbell team NMD group, and I think Holly jumped on it, and so she and I kind of made a little group and started learning more about it. And I've just really been blessed by this functionality. So my philosophy in general is to automate the how with a tool, but then connect with the why face to face. You know, really have that relationship first. But anything I can do to make our life easier, and like the essential things that need to be done are automated, then that would be great. That might be a YouTube, or it might be, you know, scheduling things in our groups. I schedule out all my stuff for my customer groups and things like that, because you could sit down one time during the month and then everything is flowing. And then once whatever you post, then you can interact with your people. So that to me feels more authentic, but then I know it's already been scheduled, and I can, you know, go hike a mountain if I want to, if we're traveling. So that's kind of my, what my love for this app was. So what is it? It's a texting app. I feel like it's an educational tool as we build education into our customers, to tell them what they're actually taking, remind them that they need to be taking it. It's a connection tool. Once you have the app, I've actually made it into almost my main texting place for customers and partners, where they're in the habit now of texting me back on that app. And so I can have, you know, multiple conversations through my whole organization. And I'm connecting with people way, way, way down deep that I never would have connected with before. And, you know, I feel like Amy Getz taught me that, you know, you reach down no matter what. You know, Julie Herbst was 4 levels down. I was 3 levels down from Amy, and she reached down to me, and it's okay, you know, with respect. You know, if you have a strong leader in between you, or if you have an actual NMD between you, you know, you might want to ask permission first before you just put all your people into this app. But basically, it's just automated information that you can send out, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. And also a value adding tool. Right now we're doing, Dana Popham and I are doing a reset, and I'm able to, you know, this 21-day reset with people. I'm able to text them every morning and say, you know, hey, how's it going today? You know, don't forget to drink your water. You know, don't forget to do this. And it's already scheduled for me, and they've opted in to do this. They sent me the word reset, and that automatically got them into this text campaign. And so that has been just so fun, because then they'll text me back the answer that I asked, and then I have like, you know, 5 or 6, 10 conversations going throughout the day that's a little bit more, you know, personal. And it's not through Facebook, you know. So I'm going fast, but you guys can slow me down if you want. But I had a lot of caffeine today. So the benefits, the benefits of this is that compared to other texting apps, is that it's a full phone number. You know, it's not like a 6-digit number that, you know, when you go into like subway or somewhere and they get you on this mailing texting thing and you're annoyed, your brain sees a 6-digit number and you know it's spam, so you're not going to, read the text. But when you see this full phone number, you're like, oh, Rachel's texting me, or who's texting me? And so it's a full number. That's a positive. Another benefit is if you're just starting out, you get 500 texts per month for just $10 a month. So it's very inexpensive in that sense. And then what I did at first was I added on the unlimited chatting feature for $5 more. And so it's $15 a month. So all my texts would go out and then I could text back and forth with those people or type back and forth on my computer. It moves from your computer to your phone very seamlessly. So I could be texting someone and then I get back on my computer and it's longer. Or if I want to design something one place or the other, they work really good together. So just recently, and I don't have a huge team. I have about 150 people on my team right now. So I opted to pay for the $20 a month, unlimited chat and 1,000 texts. And it also forwards, if anybody calls that number, it forwards to my phone number. So that's kind of neat to be able to use it as your actual voice phone number. Benefit, obviously, it's automated. It goes with your life. In this case, like if you're in the grocery store aisle and somebody's talking about the shake mix and they're picking out, you could be like, oh, that's so cool. Like, why don't you just text the word shakes to this number and it's me. And I have some text that I'll send you about how awesome our shakes are. Or I have a video that I can send you if you just remind me by sending the word shakes, and then I'll be prompted to remember. And so you could meet someone in the grocery store and talk to them about Juice Plus and say, text the word info to me. And now you've got their number in your phone, which is pretty incredible. And now they've automatically been grouped in this one little, folder of people interested in Juice Plus or interested in the shakes. It goes straight to somebody's phone, so it kind of bypasses Facebook and Instagram and all these other issues that we have. Like I said, it's a 10-digit phone number to avoid any spam. You could have endless creativity with this, and I'll share with you what I'm doing with it in a few slides. And I love that we could share bundles with each other, because if Jamie creates one or if her assistant creates one, then she can share it with me, and then I'm able to just plug it in and, give it a little name, a keyword, and it automatically, I can start utilizing her creativity. And so, like at the end of this call, if you were to, do this, I could send you all my bundles. And in Young Living, they've got like 500 products. And so they're constantly, every month they have a new membership bundle thing. And so they actually pay different people to create classes and groups and things like that through this app. So it's pretty smart. The guy who developed Project Broadcast, his wife is in Young Living, and that's why that company got it kind of first. So it's kind of neat. And then there's tutorials for every step. The guy, Jake, is incredible. He is, right there to help you every step of the way. And so, like we've kind of touched on a little bit, the need, our social media algorithms are, I think in general, life is just so loud right now. Like there's so much noise coming from lots of different directions, political, emotional, nutritional, like spiritual. There's just so much going on that if you can get your message to somebody's phone in their text box, it's going to be unique to them. It's very personal. And then you're able to spread more information to more people quickly. So if you guys have teams of, 400 or 500 people, I know Amy Getz is able to, she doesn't use the campaigns like I do, but I was able to at least teach her to she has to send a message to 500 people, or she probably has 1,000 people that she can send a message to. And it's like one button and she's sent it to everybody. So it's pretty amazing. The time saver that is, and not missing anyone. No one falls through the cracks. And so team care, customer care. It's just, I think it's just a huge need for us to be able to touch, people in every way, and in our own personality. You can make it as personal as you'd like. And so here's the basics. You would import or put in, manually, but you would import your contacts. And in this case, I don't know if your assistant would be willing to just do that thing for some people. Inputting the contacts is probably the most challenging part to project broadcast. And Stacy Turner and I sat there for forever. We spent quite a few hours talking back and forth, and we would import something from our virtual office, and it was in all caps, and you don't want to say, hey Kirsten, when you say hey first name, then your name would be text like that. Stop yelling at me. And so I feel like importing the contacts is one of your first steps, and then you would create a campaign. Maybe it's just 3 texts or 15, I don't know, whatever you'd like. But basically, if you're just learning this, you would create a campaign, and in that campaign, you would choose if it's going to be a drip campaign. And that means if you're at the checkout line and somebody texts the word info to you, they would get a drip every 30 minutes or every 2 hours. They'd get a text from you about Juice Plus. Or you could do a calendar, when we've done the shred, I have it on a set day when those texts are going to go out. Or you could do a time lapse, so whatever you would choose for that campaign, you get to choose that. And then you would create a dynamic field, to personalize it. You can put in what the customer orders. If this is a Tower Garden customer, or if this is a shake customer, you could say, hey, first name, how was your experience with this? And you can literally create that text, and it could go to 30 people, but you're specifically saying it, and they really will believe that this is a text coming just from you to them, which they'll be more likely to text back, which is the important part. You can include multimedia, YouTube. I think they're working on the voice messaging now. I'm got to see if they've actually put that through. I don't know if you know that, Jamie, or not. Do you know?
They're working on it. It's not there yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So soon we'll be able to voice message things. That'll be special, to be able to have your own voice. You could definitely, when you do, this is a little side tip, when you do include a picture, the whole text that you send will send together. But carriers like Sprint, if it's a long block of text, it'll split it up into multiple texts, and that's super annoying to your customer to get multiple, and sometimes they go out of order. So you always want to have a picture with your text. That's just a side 102 102 level. And then you would set a keyword. So you would say info to your campaign, and that's what they would text to you in order to get into the system of your text campaign going out. And then you start sharing that with friends. I've done Tower Garden ones. This whole summer, it was my plan, and I didn't do it, but to get a little sign outside my Tower Garden that said, I text garden to this number, and they would be able to get information about the Tower Garden. Because I live in this campground, there's a greenway right here where people are running back and forth, and I have probably 4 or 5 people a day stop and look at my towers. And so I've kept meaning to put the word garden, which I didn't do. Nobody's perfect. And so, but that way, now I have their number in my phone and in my app, and I can be like, hey, were you able to look into the tower? And then I can have that conversation with them. And then, staying on top of follow-up. I think probably Jamie could probably speak to this after, because if somebody else is doing her project broadcast, you still want to be in the app, 3, 4, 5 times a week, just to make sure that you're not missing any text or or conversations. So this has been my personal flow, and I'll tell you which one has been the best. I have with my Pure Goodness is the name of my team. It's the website I had before I started Juice Plus. And so basically I can do like gratitude months, or I could do, the holiday text, things like that. And that's more just plain value. Info, a person will get 4 texts about Juice Plus. If they text the word research, they're going to get 8 daily research videos, which is kind of neat. If they text garden, they're going to get 4 texts about the towers. And those come pretty quick, it's just 4 in a row. My favorite one right now, the one I'm utilizing the most, is newbie, which is a brand new customer with Juice Plus. They get 16 weeks of customer care. And for me, it's like planned out, it's the core 4, it's recipes, it's prompting them to get another product, it's supporting them on all the stuff that we know, like as far as the 4-month supply, what's happening in their body, so it's all scheduled out. And I think Holly and I put that together, put that one together. And I don't have anything for lifer. I think I had these just as ideas too. If somebody texts BYOB, then there's 4 texts that Holly and I put together that are about the business, 4 ways that our business is different. Launching a new teammate, tips, tribe. My favorite is tips for as far as team care. I have about 60 people on my team that have opted in to get my weekly Tuesday tip. And in my heart, this is what the girl with Young Living, she's pretty high up with Young Living. She's making about $18,000 a month. And she said her main goal is to get as many people on that weekly tip, because she knows she's going to put some really good value into her team once a week. And so for me, I love my Tip Tuesday. I put them together at the end of the month, and they're ready to go, each month. And I really put my heart and soul into what I'm going to tell them, during that tip. And then they respond back, which is neat, having those teams deep down respond back to you and say, this point really spoke to me like this, and, I'm struggling here. They may not get on a call with me, but at least I'm having that opportunity to touch their business and to encourage them. And then, the tribe has all my whole team in it, because I kind of unapologetically just send them all, like once a month, something that's happening within the business. And then I added recently, or I just added the anniversary date text. That's a big gap within our business where, you don't want to have to print out who's having to renew. And so there's on their anniversary date, a text goes out to them. And when you import them, you can, specify that as one of your columns.
Hey, Rachel, just to let you know
Yes.
too, the new virtual office actually has your anniversary date in the alert section for the partner. So you'll see it in your alerts of, you have 3 anniversaries this week. Reach out and tell them congrats.
Yes. Yeah. And that's going to be huge, because that was something over the last year that I was like losing, people were just like going down the drain of the tub that we talk about. And I was like, where are they going? I had up to 400 people on my team at one point. And then I'm like, where? And it was that like idea of having them go in and put their card in, and they weren't doing it. So I just sent a nice little message. What's not on here as well, once a month, I just looked at all my husband's customers and my customers, and I have a text that goes out on the 1st, and then one that goes out on the 15th saying, your order is going to ship out in the next couple of weeks. Is there any adjustments you'd like to make? Or you can go to customers.juiceplus.com and adjust it yourself. And that way I work once and then I don't have to touch that again as far as customer care. They got the text, they probably got an email, and then I don't have to feel guilty about like not touching base with them. So,
And Rachel, I was
so
just going to add on my
yeah.
campaigns, I also have a decline campaign. So all my customers that have a decline, I have the same message that goes out that just says, looking through my records, I noticed that you on your last shipment, blah, 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 but your last payment didn't process. So I'd love to get that updated for you. Please don't message it here, but let me know a good time to call you.
Right.
So, or go to your portal. And so that's been a huge time saver that I'm not having to hunt somebody down.
Right. And so then you're just looking through your Ds on Sunday night?
Yep.
Or whenever we get those?
Yep.
That's nice. Yeah, that's another cool thing about this app is you can create templates. And so you're not retyping things all the time. You can just create it. Like I have a welcome to this texting app with my picture on it, and just to introduce myself. We have the customer care one is a template, so it really can be quick once you get in there. So, as far as next steps for you guys, I feel like you're smart. You would download the app or go to the website and set yourself up. You're going to get a local area code for you, and then you can pick your number. Then I would definitely join the Juice Plus Project Broadcast group that Kurt put together, and Jake Dempsey, the guy who created it, is in there, and he's helping manage all of that. Commit to the Project Broadcast Boot Camp, it would be a couple hours or maybe a week of work for you to like really learn it, but everything is broken down in that boot camp, so that if anybody on your team were to join and do this, you don't have to be the one that has to be the expert in Project Broadcast. You just point them to the boot camp. Hire an assistant. I thought about Jamie. For me, I have time. My kids are teenagers. I enjoy creating resources. That's a skill and a gift of mine. And so I actually don't want an assistant. I want to have full control. So that's just me. But then if you have this extroverted, amazing leader, they need to have an assistant, because they're going to be out partying and, doing all that. But for me personally, I just really enjoy it. Use the bundles that are already created. Don't reinvent the wheel. Each bundle, like if I were to share my codes with you, you can go back in and be like you wouldn't share the newbie, I have a story about my son, or I have my story, a piece of my story in there. You would just look through the campaign and see like, okay, she talks about personally, so I would just change that to me, and then you'd create your own. So it's basically you get the template, but then you want to personalize it yourself, and then go import your people and enjoy it. So I think, yeah, that's all I have as